Okay, so we're ready for example 2. Example 2 is talking about distance and Rocky leaving from his home and going to school. He walks 8 blocks east and then he heads 10 blocks south, and we want to know how far is he from his home. So I made a north, south, east, west compass very crudely, and if I'm starting at home, they said he's going 8 blocks east. So 8 blocks east would be going in this direction, and 10 blocks south would be going in this direction. And as you can see, I did this with a marker, so my lines didn't draw as nice and neat. But basically, we want to connect these two right here because they're asking us, how far is Rocky from home? He's right here, but this is his home. And we want to know, what is this distance right here? So this, if you can't tell, does form a right triangle. And in doing so, that creates a leg, which is an A or a B, and the other A or B. Remember, the two sides that form the right angle are your legs. So one of those is A and one of those is B. Let's make that a little bit fatter so it looks like a B. Okay? If this is A and this is B, then this must be C. One other thing that I didn't tell you is the side opposite the right angle is always C. So in case they have the picture drawn slanted or, something like this on your paper and you have to try to figure out what C is, because they're not going to have it labeled A, B, and C. You have to do that yourself. Okay? So find your right angle and the side opposite is always C. Now what do we do to get C? Well, we got to go back to that formula that we just used before. That is the Pythagorean theorem, and that states that if I take a squared and add that to b squared, I should get c squared. So I'm going to substitute in my a, which is 8 squared, my b squared, which is 10 squared, and I don't know what my c squared is, so I leave that blank. Remember that this is 8 times 8 and not 8 times 2, which gives me my 64, plus my 10 times 10, which is 100, is equal to my c squared. So when I add these together, I get 164 is equal to c squared. But I don't want c squared, I want c. I want to know, what is this one side? So we have to remember something about solving equations. If I want to get the variable by itself, I have to undo what is happening to it. You should notice that we are squaring the c. So if I'm squaring the c, to undo that, I need to take the square root. But as we know with equations, if I do it on this side, I must do it on this side. Okay? Got to balance it out. So this is where our handy dandy calculator comes into play. I've got my old rinky-dink one, just like I have at school. And all you really need is something that has a square root button. So here's my square root button. Boy, this calculator is really dirty. So we turn it on, and in this calculator, I have to press the numbers in first, 164, and then the square root button. For most of you that are using a calculator that's in the classroom, you need to press that square root button first, and then the 164, and then the equal sign. I'm going to say that if we get any decimal answers, we should round everything to the nearest tenth. So right now, I'm saying that C is equal to, I get 12.8. So C is equal to 12.8. In answer to the question, though, it says, how far is Rocky from his home? We can say Rocky, remember this is a word problem, so we need to have it in complete sentences. We can say Rocky is about 13 blocks from his home. Now, why do I say 13 blocks? Because we are almost at 13, but not quite 13. So I would be looking for your answer to find out what C is, as well as your complete sentence.